Have you ever wondered why the world's eyes are turning to Africa as Europe races to forge new connections? The answers might just surprise you. Africa yielded valuable raw materials such as rubber, timber, diamonds, and gold, which heightened European interest in the continent. Safeguarding trade routes became a compelling motive. In the 1800s, Europeans extended their presence deeper into Africa, driven by the quest for these resources and suitable locations for establishing prosperous colonies. Between the 1870s and 1900, Africa confronted European imperialist aggression, diplomatic pressures, military incursions, and eventual subjugation and colonization. Concurrently, African societies mounted various forms of resistance against the encroachment of colonization and foreign dominance. Nonetheless, by the early 20th century, a substantial portion of Africa, excluding Ethiopia and Liberia, had fallen under the control of European powers. The European drive for imperial expansion into Africa was underpinned by three core factors: economic, political, and social. This expansion gained momentum in the 19th century due to several factors, including the declining profitability of the slave trade, its eventual abolition and suppression, and the burgeoning European capitalist industrial revolution. The imperatives of capitalist industrialization, which encompassed the need for reliable sources of raw materials and the quest for secure markets and profitable investment opportunities, played a pivotal role in driving the European scramble for Africa. Consequently, the primary driving force behind European involvement was of an economic nature. Africa is poised to surpass the global average in terms of economic growth over the next 2 years, with an expected average real gross domestic product (GDP) of around 4% for 2023 and 2024. This projection outstrips the anticipated global averages of 2.7% and 3.2%, as indicated in the Africa's Macroeconomic Performance and Outlook report by the African Development Bank Group. The report reveals that the estimated average growth of real GDP in Africa 3.8% in 2022, down from 4.8% in 2021, largely due to substantial challenges stemming from the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Despite this economic deceleration, 53 out of Africa's 54 countries experienced positive growth. All 5 regions within the continent have exhibited resilience and maintain a stable outlook for the medium term. Given Africa's diversity, with its 54 countries at varying stages of growth, distinct economic structures, and diverse resource endowments, the impact of global shocks varies from region to region and country to country. Consequently, the repercussions of slowing global demand, tighter financial conditions, and disrupted supply chains have manifested differently in African economies. Nonetheless, all 5 African regions sustained positive growth in 2022, and the outlook for 2023 to 24 is projected to remain steady. Africa's top-performing economies prior to the COVID-19 pandemic are anticipated to achieve average growth rates exceeding 5.5% in the 2023 to 2024 period, reclaiming their positions among the world's 10 fastest-growing economies. These nations include Rwanda, 7.9%, Côte d'Ivoire, 7.1%, Benin, 6.4%, Ethiopia, 6%, and Tanzania, 5.6%. Additionally, several other African countries are expected to achieve growth rates surpassing 5.5% during the 2023 to 24 period. These nations comprise the Democratic Republic of Congo, 6.8%, the Gambia, 6.4%, Mozambique, 6.5%, Niger, 9.6%, Senegal, 9.4%, and Togo, 6.3%. As per data from the African Development Bank, the number of middle-class Africans has tripled in the past 3 decades, totaling 313 million individuals, which represents approximately 34% of the continent's population. The emergence of the African middle class can be attributed to several factors, including robust economic development on the continent, a transition towards stable salary employment, and a shift away from traditional agricultural practices. However, despite this growth, income inequality remains pervasive in Africa. The middle class includes a significant number of individuals, often referred to as the floating class. These individuals are vulnerable to falling into poverty in the face of economic shocks. Given the tendency of many middle-class individuals to engage in local entrepreneurship, The strength of Africa's middle class is most pronounced in countries with vibrant and developing private sectors. Moreover, countries exhibiting strong economic growth, secure and well-compensated job opportunities, and higher levels of tertiary education tend to have a larger middle-class population. Currently, North Africa leads in terms of middle-class concentration, with Tunisia ranking first at nearly 90%, followed closely by Morocco at 85% and Egypt at 80%. Other African nations with substantial middle-class populations include Botswana, Ghana, Namibia, Mozambique, Malawi, Rwanda, Burundi, Kenya, and South Africa. Africa stands out as a continent abundant in natural resources, offering a diverse spectrum of investment prospects. Among the prominent sectors ripe for investment are mining, oil and gas, real estate, technology, and infrastructure. The mining industry plays a significant role in Africa's economy, boasting substantial reserves of precious metals and minerals. Similarly, the oil and gas sector holds immense importance given the considerable reservoirs of oil and natural gas found across the continent. Real estate represents another burgeoning field in Africa, with a rising demand for both residential and commercial properties. The technology industry is also experiencing growth, characterized by a proliferation of tech startups and enterprises emerging within Africa. Investment in infrastructure development is paramount for Africa's economic progress, presenting numerous opportunities in transportation, power generation, and water projects. China and the African continent are presently commemorating the renewal of their partnership. For China, Africa represents a valuable source of coal and oil, while African nations regard China as an advantageous trade partner that does not impose particular political conditions on its suppliers and even provides diplomatic support.